Hello, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk and from unboxings.com, and here I am with the Huawei IDEOS. You may have seen our video of the IDEOS from a couple of weeks ago where we actually saw the device for the first time at the launch event, but now we have the full retail package, so we're going to do an unboxing and demo video for you now. So handset immediately on top, as you can see there, which we'll come back to in a moment or two. Underneath we have, first of all, a USB style charger, so a UK 3-pin plug with a USB connector on the bottom. We then have the USB cable, so it's a mini, or rather a micro USB cable on one end, or connector on one end, and then a standard USB connector on the other. That's used for sync and charge. Have the battery, which is a 1200 milliamp hour battery. And then finally we have the wired headset, which has a 4-pole 3.5mm jack on one end, length of cable, and then an inline microphone with a push button, and then the headphones themselves. They don't look too bad. I've seen better, I've seen worse, and I suspect, as always, most people are going to want to use their own headphones unless they are forced to use that wired headset. So taking a look at the handset, on the front we have a 2.8-inch display, which is Quad VGA, 240 by 320 pixels. There is a screen protector on there at the moment, which I'm going to leave in place just for now. Underneath that we have a series of touch sensitive keys, so a back, menu, home and a search button. Then a couple of physical keys, so we have a red and green phone key, so answer and hang up buttons, and then sort of a D-pad in the middle, up, down, left, right, and then the push button in the centre. On the left hand side we have an up and down volume control rocker, but nothing else. On the bottom, USB connector, micro USB for sync and charge, and then the hole there, which is actually the microphone. The right hand side, well, really nothing at all to see. It's completely clear and clean. On the top, 3.5mm headphone connector for plugging in obviously our own headphones or the supplied wired headset, and then the power button just to the side too. It sticks out a little just so it's a little bit easier to press, because not only does it obviously work as the actual power button, but it puts the device into sleep, turns the screen off. On the back we have a 3.2 megapixel fixed focus camera, and well, looked promising initially that these were a couple of LEDs, but they're not. That's actually a loudspeaker grill there, so no LED flash, but it's designed to be a fairly entry-level handset. On the back, cover pops off like so, space here to take our micro SD HC memory cards supporting up to 16 gig, and then a space here for a SIM card. So I'm going to just pop a SIM card in just in case it needs one to start up. Battery goes in then this way round. I'll get it around the right way, there we go, and then the back cover simply pops back on and slides into place. So this is the metallic blue version, and there are other colours going to be shortly available. So let's just power up. While I wait for that to power up, I should mention that this is Android 2.2 Froyo, and it is one of the only handsets shipping with 2.2 at the moment, and which is particularly remarkable when you consider the cost of the handset. It's going to be around £99 to £129, so certainly going to be the cheapest handset shipping with 2.2 rather than requiring an upgrade. It is a capacitive touchscreen display. Again, it's quite unusual for a handset of this price point. Quad band for GSM, dual band for HSDPA. It does obviously support 3G and HSDPA. Auto rotate G sensor is included, has built-in Wi-Fi supporting 802.11b, G and N standards, which is again impressive, again considering the price point of this handset. Bluetooth 2.1 with A2DP support, micro USB on the bottom, supports USB 2.0, built-in GPS and compass, and a 5-way navigation pad on the bottom, which we've already mentioned. Has built-in memory of 256 megabytes of RAM, 512 meg of ROM. Expansion slot does support up to 16 gig, not 32. Has a proximity sensor and an ambient light sensor, and well, I think that pretty much covers it. It's 104mm from top to bottom, just under 55mm wide, and 13.5mm thick. It does feel quite lightweight. I can't find weight actually listed, but it does feel quite lightweight and reasonably well made actually. Again, considering the price of the handset at between £100 and £130, pretty impressive. So it's asking me to set up. I don't want to change the language, so let's start with tap in and let's begin. Just quickly skip through. It's telling me how to use the keyboard, not worried about the keyboard, and setting up the IDEOS. And it's asking me about setting up a Google account, which I am going to skip for now because I'm going to go and do that once we set up the GPS, once we set up the Wi-Fi. And well, we'll use the automatic network provided values for the time. And there we go, we started up. Reasonably interesting looking screen there as the backdrop. And it does tell us a few things on here. See all of our apps, touch the icon on the bottom. Well, yeah, we kind of know about that one. So let's get back for now and go back home. So Android Market on the desktop, and well, Android Tips by the looks of it there. And we can swipe across. We have Android Market and a music widget there, and another one, another page. So we've got 5 pages, unable to connect for whatever that is there. I'll come back to that in a moment. Android Market there in the middle. Button there to actually access the phone dialer. Probably better if I actually take screen protector off now. There we go. Cancel. An extremely sensitive capacitive touchscreen display, which is pretty good. So it's your phone dialer, your call log, contacts and favourites. I've seen with nothing set up in there at the moment because it's the first time I use the handset. Back home, and if I press the menu button there, go into settings. And let's see if we can set up wireless. The rotate, there we go. So let's turn wireless on. And go to Wi-Fi settings and see what we pick up here. And we'll join a Wi-Fi network. Okay. And as you can see, a fairly standard version of the Android QWERTY keyboard. Let me go ahead and type in the key, and that's quite happily obtained an IP address and is now connected. Pretty impressive. It seems to have a reasonable signal strength and has connected quite fast. So we can go back home, which means that we can test things out such as Android Market, which requires me to sign in. So I'll sign into my Google account. There we go, and that's connected. And finish setup. Accept the terms and conditions. And there we go, into the Android Market. If you've seen Android before, you'll know this is a fairly, well, this is a very standard look at the Android Market. And we've got games, and we've got downloads and apps. And interestingly, as an aside, I can just see Kindle for Android. We'll look at that later actually. So Google Maps has an update, and Facebook it tells me is already installed. I won't worry with the update for now. But we will do so at some point. So go back home. Now, having set up Android Market should allow me to get into my Google email, because I use the same account. So there we go. That's my Android email, or Google email I should say. That's pretty standard. And in here, let's take a look at the apps. So we've got the browser, which we'll come back to in a moment. We've got the calendar, contacts, email. Email allows us to obviously set up different email accounts, from Exchange Active Sync style email or Exchange supported email to IMAP and POP3. We'll do that later rather than doing it now on the actual video. We've got Facebook pre-installed, Google search. There is an FM radio, which is a nice feature. I appreciate having an FM radio. We've got Google Latitude and Maps installed. Just take a quick look at Maps and see if that picks up a GPS signal. Hopefully it does. Pick my location. and it has picked up my location pretty accurately as well, so that's decent. Let's go back out of there, go back into the programs, see what else we have. We also have a navigation here, which I'll just pop into very quickly, but it is a turn-by-turn navigation, so we can speak our destination. London. Navigate to London, so that's pretty cool. It's a bit of a broad term, but well, you get the idea. So it does actually give us turn-by-turn driving directions, so that's quite cool. But we'll just skip out of there for now. Go back into programs. So we've looked at maps and navigation and market. We've got news and weather there that we can see. Settings, Twidroid is installed, and YouTube client. So we take a quick look at the YouTube client, which you know is fairly is going to be a standard sort of Android implementation. We're going to search, and we put in. Oops, made a typo there. EOD, which is my YouTube account name. There we go. I see a list of results there. Let's just pop in for the sake of testing the speed. Look at the Dell Streak video. Wow, and that's started extremely fast. I guess partly down to the speed of the Wi-Fi connection that we do have, because it does support wireless N, which is impressive in itself. I think that sort of covers most of the sort of standard apps in there. Let's have a look at the browser and see what how that works and how quickly that loads. That's rendering rather fast, and we'll type in and on the typo. It's a fairly small keyboard because of the size of the screen, and I have fairly large fingers, but it's not too bad at all. I think you certainly get used to it. And that's loading extremely fast along the progress bar at the top. And that's yeah, that's quite impressive. The display itself is quite impressive too. It's nice and clear. There we go, that seems to have loaded. Now, I'm not sure if we have multi-touch. We don't unfortunately have multi-touch, so we can't pinch to zoom. But we can zoom out, as you can see there. And then we can rotate the handset. Display rotates to suit. Because it is a quarter VGA display, it is going to struggle a little with web browsing and certainly the small text that we have there. But that's just you know, one of those things because of the quarter VGA display. So come back out of there. You can see Android Market application is now working properly now that we have an internet connection. We have a completely blank page at the end that we can add our own widgets to. No weather information, but we've got a little news feed there and another blank page. And in actual fact, if we want to add anything, we just hold down. And we've got widgets that we can add. And so we've got clock, Facebook, calendar, home screen tips, which is obviously one of the things that we've already got on there, Android Market, FM radio, user weather, picture frame, Twidroid. Let's check out the radio. Now presumably the radio will want us to have headphones plugged in. Yeah, please connect to headset. But that's pretty normal. But at least there is a desktop widget for it, which is quite cool. And that's back to the home screen. Buttons at the bottom do allow us to actually navigate around the display. So if we have icons on the screen, we can actually move around them, and pressing the button in the middle just activates that control or that application. And if we have a look in back in here, so we've got Google search and Facebook and the camera. Just have a quick look at the camera. Okay, we do need to have an SD card installed, which again is a fairly standard thing for Android. Android does expect an SD card in order to store any photos. but you kind of get the idea in terms of what the camera's capable of there. We'll do a lot of photos when it comes to the full review, and we'll let you know what we actually think of the camera. If we pull down at the top, we can see the notifications, and it says that we've got an ongoing navigation or turn-by-turn directions going there, as you can see. We'll click that and we'll reactivate it. Voice guidance. Well, we'll skip the installation of that just for now, but there you go. That's taken us straight back into there. Go back home. So that's a very quick tour and unboxing video of the Huawei IDEOS. We'll have a full review for you over the coming weeks. In the meantime, if you want to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/TracyandMatt, or on Facebook, facebook.com/TracyandMatt.co.uk. I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on TracyandMatt.co.uk, but for now, thanks for watching.
Bitdefender is dedicated to protecting people's digital lives, so working with Unboxings.com to help preview and review the latest technology is a perfect fit.